Rosemary Catherine Canty is a quiet slip of a girl who keeps with her family long and away off in the high counties somewheres. Her hair's as yellow as the bright burning sun, and her eyes as cool and deep and blue as the sky that keeps the sun from boiling the earth away beneath it. She's a right beauty and no mistake, but deep in her breast she's got this wondering sort of a heart, so she does. Now, this heart sends the girl traipsing about off in the wild woods, where never a God-fearing man with more than 1 under the bridge would dare to step his foot. She likes the wild places, so she does, and the wild things that live in them. She keeps their company and their custom, and lives as far apart from her fellow man as any shepherdess can who's got her wares to sell at the market come shearing time. She's a cheery, winsome girl, and might have passed all her days in happy solitude were it not for the golden ball she brought home with herself one bright and sunny noon. This is how it happened. One day, Rosemary's walking alone in the forest along one of her favorite familiar pathways. There's this spread of primroses she knows, and as it's her mother's fondest wish to have a bunch of them for her own kitchen window, Rosemary takes it on herself to pick some. On her way home with the flowers, she comes upon a tremendous great stone standing smack in the middle of her trail. "But this stone shouldn't be here," says she. She looks about to see if she somehow got herself lost, but the path is the same as always, or so it seems to her. It's just got this enormous and impossible stone standing in it where there was no stone before. She goes on a bit, all anxious and confused, and what does she come upon but another great stone, standing right where her long legs would have taken her. This stone is impossibly high and straight, and as big around as a city carriage. She's come this way most every day of her life, so she has, and there's been no stones, great or otherwise, till now. Blessed Mother Mary, she thinks, I've got myself lost and no mistake. And then she finds herself all scarified and shaking at being alone in these woods would have been friend and comfort to her whole life long. In despair, she curses the stone and flings her flowers at the thing. Then, poor pitiful creature that she is, she sets herself down to have a good cry. No more than a drop falls from her eyes, though, before there's this voice in the air beside her, and it's in the ground beneath her, and it's in her head as well. It's all soft and silver-like, like the edges of a great billowy storm cloud, and it's telling her there's nothing whatever in the world to be spilling tears over. "'Tis a fine, bright day," says the voice. "'Tis a day for music and singing, not for wailing such as these." Rosemary Catherine Canty looks up, and what does she see but a band of the Fae stepping and dancing out from in the great stone. But where have you come from?" says she. She cannot believe what it is her own eyes tell her. "Our country is just there, behind that stone," says the one with eyes like black shiny marbles. "Your sweet flowers open the way for us to come to you, and your tears." "We've brought you something, Rosie Kate," says the one with eyes like the bed of a clear running stream. This one places a golden ball no bigger than that in the cup of her hands. It sparkles so and sends such a tickle through her fingers that she straight forgets she's lost or frightened, and she laughs out loud as she holds it. The strangers sing to her and play their sweet music, and by she finds herself safe and whole and standing in front of her own mother's door. The primroses are all somehow gathered in a lovely bunch and in her hands again. The fair folk are gone. Now, sitting there at her mother's table like a great fat tomcat is the village magician. He laps up her tale of stones and strangers like it's milk spilled out cold on the table before him. And when she's finished, and eaten, and when she's tucked away in bed, safe beneath her mother's favorite blanket, that's when the old magician starts thinking. Rosemary Catherine's just a slip of a girl to be so blessed by the fair folk as she has, he says to himself. And isn't it myself who should have such a blessing? And isn't it myself who knows all that a man can of the fair ones and their ways? Isn't it myself that would know what to do with such a gift as this child has got, with nothing but luck on her side of the ledger? And so he resolves himself that it's a golden ball of his own he shall have, or not live another day of life. At the crack of dawn the next day, he sets out for the stone with his own bunch of flowers. When he finds it standing just where the child said it would, he throws his posies against it and waits. Now maybe it's that the sun's not quite high enough this day, or that the air has not that hint of spring and mystery that it had the day before. Maybe it's that the heart of this man's as dark as a shadow on a black floor on a moonless night. Maybe it's none of these. We will never know. But the fairies knew something. For the ones that come out of the stone this day are angry and wrathful and filled with all kinds of spite. This time there's no music, there's no singing, there's no golden ball, and soon, there's no magician neither. He's gone, and he's never heard from again in those parts nor any other. Now it's my suspicion, and just my own, that those fairies didn't do away with that proud, dark-spirited man, but took him instead away with them to their world, for him to be the fox in their wild hunt. They choose a man for this sometimes for some wrong the man has done to them, but mostly for no reason at all. And if he is fast and cunning, and the fairies are lazy and forgetful, perhaps a man can escape them for a little. Perhaps. The magician was very old and slow, but he was very wise. Perhaps he yet lives somewhere on the other side of that stone where men will never see. Perhaps. And perhaps not.